We should be live here in 1 second. Yep, there we go. We are indeed live. Excellent. All right, I'm going to go and pull up the game here. Hey, now we got some sound. And sorry if anyone hears like a weird sound in the background. We've got some purifiers, whatnot going. You know, be safe and all that good stuff. So here we go. Got my video set up. Keyboard and mouse. I don't know what anything does here. We're just going to kind of go with it and see what happens. But hey everyone, thank you for joining. Thank you for hanging out. Let's get this going. And begin the game. The end is never the end. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Uh-oh.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
You know, this is feeling a lot like right now. Alright. Okay, so apparently I'm going to step out of the office. What can I do? Can I do anything with this stuff? Can I push stuff? Okay, I cannot do anything yet. That's interesting. Okay, if I'm over here, I don't know. Let's see what's going on. Okay, nothing there.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh, the door
Stanley
shut.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't know where the meeting room is.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh yeah, look, the computer's on. Can I touch it? Haha, shut it off. Take that. Maybe I shouldn't have shut it off. These are some pretty big working spaces. I mean, they're not very private, but they have some nice space. Okay. Don't you close. It's gonna close, watch. Yeah, I don't know where I'm actually going. Wait. Okay. I have no idea where I'm going. Let's see. Interesting. Can I get in there? Nope. Where's the meeting room?
When Stanley came to a set
Oh.
of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm supposed to enter the door on the left? Yeah, okay, let's go and go with what the narrator is saying for right now. That's on. Can I go in there? Nope. Nothing opens for us. Oh,
Yet
here we
there
go.
was not a single person here either.
Test for not
Feeling
getting
a wave
fired.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, it's automatic. Okay. Interesting. Take it out passive aggressively. Okay, I didn't get to read all that. This looks like an interesting place to work. You know, it's actually not bad graphic-wise. Like, one of these days I'm going to sit there and watch all this. Just out of curiosity. Alright. Broom closet? Oh, it opened.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay, apparently I need to close that. Can I go backwards? Nope. Okay. And...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, we're going to listen to the narrator this time through. I kind of decided that. If we do another playthrough, we'll ignore the narrator and do everything the narrator says not to do. Oh, it closed on me. Wait, what is this over here? Executive bathroom. Ooh. But I want to go in there. I want to see how fancy it is. Okay, assuming that's the office. What's the secretary doing? Nothing. Can't go that way. Okay, we're in here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked,
Look at this office,
unraveled,
though.
Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
Oh.
2845. But of
2845.
course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Oh, here we go.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I should have pushed, like, wrong numbers intentionally. Okay. This is interesting. That's not foreboding at all. I honestly have no idea what to expect here. This is going to be interesting.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay, then. So, we're deep underground, apparently.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. That way. Okay, we're gonna keep listening to narrator because I'm just curious what's gonna happen. Oh, that's dark. Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Why are those like off-center up there? That really bothers me. Everything else is nice and in line, but those ones on top are just kind of screwy. Okay, fine. We're gonna cross.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Wow. That's interesting. Can I do anything here? We're what, 427, right? Okay, so that should be my office right there. Yep, and there's nothing going on. They don't have like the bathrooms monitored, do they? That'd be creepy. These are all employees. Okay, fired. I wonder why he was fired. Makes me curious though. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go on. Why are those off center? I don't like it. Okay, and
This
we're gonna go
mind
up.
control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
What if he's like the last one to escape?
No. He refused to believe it. He
That's bright
couldn't
red,
accept
okay.
it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it?
Unthinkable.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I mean, it seems like
But
it.
here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad
Offline.
or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored
Wow.
and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I mean, I can push the power button, and I'm not going to. Okay, I gotta dismantle the controls somehow. Console disabled. Okay, that is disabled. Facility power. Man, they could just turn the power back on, though. It's over here. Okay. Yeah, so he must have been like the last one to like snap out of it. Okay, nothing I can do there. Oh, what's that do? That does nothing. Okay. Oh, here we go. This is interesting.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Alright, now what? Did we win? Was that it? Wait, no.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet,
I have a bad feeling.
even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Oh, it's all
Whatever
pretty out there,
life he
too.
lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
And okay.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, so I'm happy. That's a happy ending. Okay, so beat the game. Okay, so achievement unlocked, beat the game. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and try some other paths now. Okay. So there we go. Yeah, it puts us right back at the start again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I can't open anything still. Okay.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
So I have to try to do everything he says not to do this time. I'm gonna shut off all the computers I see what happens. Waiting input. Input received. I can't do anything else there. Okay, now there's another one over here I could shut off. I'm gonna try that.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay, so I cannot open anything else at all. Alright, let's move to the next area, I guess. Nothing. Mug? Did I say Honda? Nope, Monday. I hate Mondays. Hooray! Okay, someone spilled their drink there. I should probably try like every single door along the way too.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So we're doing everything opposite now.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I want to push the buttons. Okay. I seriously want to see if you get to do anything if you push all the doors. I don't know if that'll give me an achievement or not. Ooh.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Okay, I can't do anything to that. Okay.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh. I should have gone back the other way, maybe. Oh! It said to take that door. I'm not going to take that door. Okay. Trying all the doors.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
What were they designing here, I wonder? I can't jump up to look. Okay. Alright. Nothing over here. Can't go in there. Warning, do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse. Cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000. It's on. I can try it out. Okay, so the narrator hasn't told me what to do yet. So I'm kind of waiting. I want to do whatever he says not to do. You go up there. Can't jump. Can't do any of that. Okay, you know what? We're gonna jump. Are we? No, let's just walk on it and not die yet.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Oh, if I jump off on there.
Someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
What?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Wait, what? Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Who?
She's been waiting.
Oh no. It's Pub Lass. Okay, we're gonna go back on this just to make the narrator upset. It didn't work. It did not work. I could have walked off the side onto that walkway there, which I think I will do next time at some point. And kind of see what happens. So, okay, it's only giving me one way to go, unless I drop to my death. And I don't want to drop to my death at the moment. So, yeah, there's a lot of different paths you can take. This is kind of cool. Alright, so I have to go through here. And door shut. Oh no, it's dark. Oh, jeez.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay, I'm curious.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh,
Gotcha.
He's a jerk.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
Wow.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay, I'm kind of curious. I'm going to go with it.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? Press 9 on your keyboard. No. I don't want to. How do I get out of here? The narrator has tricked me. I can't do anything. I'm pushing a different key. I pushed 1. Nothing happened. Okay, I pushed everything except for 9. Everything except for 9. Oh no, I pushed 9.
Stanley is quite
Oops.
a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Wow. No. Pushing everything but that. How do you like that, huh? I'm pushing everything except 1. Oh, really? He's gonna mess with me. I literally can't do anything unless I press the keys. Fine.
Look at him there,
Whoa.
pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I don't want to. No. No. I mean, does it do something different if I just sit here forever? I'm pushing all the keys except for the M button. Nothing's happening. The narrator is messing with me. Apparently this is what happens when you don't listen to the narrator. I don't want to push him. I don't want to do it. Fine.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Wow. I don't want to watch TV. Let me break it. Like, they're literally messing with me because I refuse to listen to the narrator. Like, you're just stuck in this little tiny place. Fine.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, He stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building
jeez.
had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Fine.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world,
everything keeps
he
vanishing
began
when
to
I
fill it
push
with
it.
many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
To tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press K to tell your wife that you love her. She's gonna vanish, watch.
But there is no
there's your
answer. How could there possibly be?
Look at
In
that.
reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has
Oh,
changed.
jeez.
The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Okay, and the bed's gonna vanish.
And I'm trying to tell
Or
him
not.
this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Press N to be at work in the morning. Fine, I won't push the button just to appease the narrator for now. I'm trying to push everything but that button. It's not doing me any good. It's not going to let me do anything except do that. Oh, this game. I don't want to go to the begin again. I want to keep going. Fine.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press T to question nothing. Fine.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Please
Stanley
die.
pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Okay, I pushed a button, so I guess I'm dead now. Okay. Okay, we're starting again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
the
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Gonna go to all the doors again. See if he yells at me. I shut off that first monitor. Let's try both of those.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Okay, I know what I'm gonna do, and he's probably gonna yell at me again for it, so I'm just gonna go there.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, I might be having some fun with this.
Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. We're gonna go back over here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, let's just jump. Oh no!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley.
Okay,
Everyone
that was
thinks
actually
you
pretty
are
fun.
very powerful.
Okay, we're gonna try it again, but this time we're gonna drop onto that platform.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, I know where we're
The lounge was
going.
sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. We ain't doing it. We're gonna jump onto that platform out there.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but
Don't let me
you
die.
all this
Don't let me
time.
die. Don't let me
There's
die.
someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
That's where we can't listen to him. He's gonna be a jerk again. Okay. Warning. Or danger. Danger everywhere. Okay. So we're gonna have to ignore what he says again. Nothing. Warning, do not stand on this side of fence. Oh, interesting. Uh-oh.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm gonna go through the blue door, so I'm not listening to him this time.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
Wait, what?
Stanley walked through the red door.
It actually made me port back. What happens if I do it again?
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
I'm gonna go this way.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because
Okay,
this
that's
is what you
amazing.
wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Ooh.
There we go.
Oh.
A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try.
This is amazing.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Ooh, okay. What's he saying now? What? What is this? Oh, that's how many doors have been opened. Did you know? Wow. Only 3% of players chose the blue door. Okay, you're objectively ranked the last. Oh, they're messing with you. He's totally messing with you. This is amazing. A dead rat. Oh, wow. Wait, that's saying... No. What is that saying? Okay, we're going to stop paying attention to that. We're going to go through this door again and see what happens.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
Yes.
Again, honest answers, please.
Yes.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Uh-oh. What do we do?
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Oh, gee. I wonder what happens if you actually play it for 4 hours. Alright, goodbye, baby.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
This is amazing. Minecraft.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll
can't
say
do
this.
anything.
I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience.
Oh, no.
Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
No, you're not gonna let me back out. I'm not going inside there. Let me be free. I want to go craft some mines. I can't get away from it. It won't let me. I can't jump. I can't do anything. You can't jump. Achievement unlocked. I don't know if that popped up on the screen. Yep, okay, it does pop up on the screen. Awesome, okay. But I can't do anything. I literally can't do anything. He's gonna make me walk inside the house and get stuck in there. That's exactly what's gonna happen. And he's not even responding to me now. He's just sitting there expecting me to go and do it. Oh, man. Fine.
Isn't it grand?
No.
Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Where did he do that at? Oh, look. We can go over here now. Uh-oh. Nope, it's forcing me over here. I'm gonna have to jump down in there, and he's probably gonna get me killed by a creeper. Watch, a creeper's gonna pop out and blow me up.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
I have not brought a light. You can't let me do anything. Yep, so you can only go deeper. There's no way to go back up. So, let's do it. I can't believe there's Minecraft in here. Okay, I'm so glad there's no mobs, but I'm pretty sure...
No. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one.
Oh, no.
Okay, new game.
Oh, I heard that. I heard a zombie. Oh, man. What?
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Come here. Okay, I can't get that way. Come here. I put everything in the toilet. Because why not? Come here. There we go. Okay. This is Portal, isn't it? I've never actually played Portal. Okay.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Okay. Come here. Come here. Oh, jeez. Oh, I can pick things up.
Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games.
What?
And I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then, I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Like, I think that's it down there again, but I don't want to go down there, so I'll probably die. Is he really not letting me do anything? He's actually going to make me kill myself. Alright, cowabunga. Oh, jeez. Beta. Oh, it landed. Filing cabinets. Okay. Interesting. That looks like possible death. That is really dark. I don't know where it's going. I'm not going to go down there. Okay. I don't want to fall into whatever that is. I think he has legitimately trapped me here. That's like just doom there. And I wonder if I'm missing anything in these rooms. We're just gonna have to jump. That's all. That's the only thing we can do now. All right, what happens? Oh, dead. Okay. Oh, jeez. No, I landed somewhere else. Oh no. Is this just a big maze now? That's a little more light in here. We're going back to our office. That's what's happening. We're going right back to our office. Oh, man. That's what this was. It was a trap. Oh, but it's different. Looks like, I'm assuming that's probably something they used in the game at some point. Okay. Oh. But what happened?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
It's actually interesting.
I can wait.
Can't do anything though. Hey, narrator, what are you? Oh, it did a thing. Really? All right. So, time to do more exploring. I'm going to go down that one that says escape.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So we're going to kind of go through here.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no exception of promotion or recognition.
Hoping
Don't be
he might
fired.
find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Ooh,
office.
downstairs. There's a car. Why is there a car in here?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
I'm
why
going in
couldn't he
circles.
see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Yes,
Were
yes,
simply
they are.
repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Oh,
So
jeez.
he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the
Oh,
ground.
that's awesome.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it
What?
too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock.
Why is there a
to
car in
Stanley.
here?
After all, he knew for certain,
Why?
beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool
Oh,
weight
jeez.
of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be
Spider.
fine. I am okay.
Nope.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office.
Oh,
I am
jeez.
real. Please, just
Oh, it's
someone
getting
tell me I am real.
weird.
I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, what? Narrator, why?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting
Jeez.
to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oh, jeez. Now we're starting over again. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
We're going for the exit this time.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The exit.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So we can't go in there. This game is really interesting. I love the narrator in it too. That's absolutely
Stepping
hilarious.
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Alright, we're going for freedom, the exit. The original path I skipped.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind
Escape.
Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
What? Did you already close the door? Did you close the door already? Am I stuck in here? Am I going to die horribly?
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Nope, we gotta do it.
Nope, still on board with death.
Let's see if he gets pissed off. Okay, he's not saying anything now. Alright, let's see what happens. Why
The
is there
door
so
behind
much-
him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I gotta see what happens. I gotta see.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Oh no, we actually did just fall and die. Oh geez, maybe not.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
Oh, what
it
the heck?
reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
You can't
Stanley
get out.
can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death would have meant great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to
But
his
why?
brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
But why? No! I know you said I was gonna die, but don't do it! Okay.
Farewell, Stanley,
What?
cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh! Or not. Oh. Okay. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What is this?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh, wow. So the blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game, the path from Stanley's office to the two doors with the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development through the core layout though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Okay. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. The corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. Alright. The two doors. The set of the two open doors was The set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once the room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Okay. File cabinets? Yes. Office computers? Ooh, they got solitaire. Except it's missing, like, half the game. Employee database. Oh, can I read that? Please enter your command /print employee status printing. Total employee in database 604. Total employee in office 2. 2? Oh, so there's 2 employees in the office. Please enter your command print list employees in office printing. Employee 427 status offline. Employee no number status nothing. Please enter your command /disconnect. The current time is internal clock error. Please reset. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Installing. Oh, geez, it's kind of hard to see. Chart something 2.01. Chart Pro 2.01. Program the. I don't know what that says. The something. It's kind of hard to see the way that's coming out. Oh, credits. Let's see. Stanley Parable, written and designed by Davey Redden? I don't know. And William Pug? I don't know. Alright, so that's just got some cool names there. Music, additional voice work, original artwork, Steam support, nice. Model design, animation, Stanley character skin. I mean, can't see me, but okay. Additional music, webmaster, and made using source by Valve. Okay. Is there anything else we can look at in here? Oh, here we go. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Okay. The office. Guess those are just like the different door styles. Okay, what do we got over here? nature paintings. Very nice. I mean, that looks like more than a painting. That looks photorealistic, so that's kind of cool. I mean, these all kind of do. Well, maybe not. It's hard to tell. It's cool though. Stanley's computer. Can't do anything with that. Can I touch these over here? Do they do things? Yes. 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 Okay. What's over here? Office clock. Okay. Boss's office. Oh, so it says like the different design elements, or the like different ways they had it set up. Screens from the development of the boss's office. Okay, yeah. So like that was 1, was 2, and probably 3, something like that. It's over here. Okay, just a little spot over here. Employee lounge. Underground, an early version of the underground portion of the game. Okay.
Now then, this elevator for sure would get him right back on track to where were all of his co-workers?
Narration outtakes.
Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible to you?
Kevin Briding, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are the clips from early outtakes that were not used in the final game.
Kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding of it.
These are amazing.
Of course, you being you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Stanley's scared. I'm just going to make this easy on you.
I'm curious about the baby thing. If you actually sit there for 4 hours doing it, if it actually does anything. But there's no way I'm sitting here for 4 hours to do it. But I'm sure someone out there who is very dedicated to finding out did it and found out how it works. So I'm going to have to do myself a YouTube. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Okay. Oh, I could have pushed something there. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it just kind of does that. Okay. Freedom ending. Freedom ending as it existed in beta. Okay. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down. With freedom above and countdown below, we abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the 2 endings together instead. Okay. Countdown room, an early version of the countdown room. Nice. Oh, so that's the actual exit there, so we're not going to go that way yet. We're going to just kind of keep looking around for a bit, see if we find any other cool Easter eggs in here. Oh, there we go. There's the actual desk and everything. Oh, okay, so these are different versions. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. Because I know this is an older game. It's not like new, but it's not really old. That's cool. The lounge. Okay, they have blue ones. Yeah, early version of the lounge. So that's what it looked like before they put the blue ones in there. The office. These are screenshots of Stanley Parable HD Remix. Oh. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer editors. Narrators. Man, I can't speak. More Stanley, less Stanley. Okay. The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to win. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image. Was the clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? Interesting. The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to lose. Interesting. Larger words. This is text. If someone could just something, get rid of the text, maybe then I could see what's behind it. Okay. Interesting. Warzone. What? There's a Warzone? Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpret it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. I mean, I might have fun with that. I would play that. I would have done it. Okay. It's interesting, though. Maintenance room, okay. The office, more office stuff. Alright, so I think we've explored most everything here. Yeah, because we went through this way first. And there's no sprint button or anything. So let's go ahead and find that exit again, wherever that was. And we'll go ahead and walk through there and see what happens. We've had our fun kind of poking around. And I am curious. Okay, there's the exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Interesting. The Stanley parable, off and on. Alright, I guess we're going to push it. Off.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Oh no.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Yep, there we go. Okay. Squish. Oh, man. Okay. Narrator, hello? Hello? Alright, I have to push escape then. I cannot resume the game. Nothing's there to resume. Begin the game again. Is there actually something here? No, I think we are officially dead. I don't think they leave us going this long. Okay. Begin the game again. There's lots of other options we have not taken yet.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
What? Oh, interesting. They changed. More computers are active than were before? I just didn't notice them. I don't know. So now I'm curious what we actually did. If we actually changed something.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Are there more options on that side, though? I don't think there are. I think it was just the 2 options. We could have hit escape before we got squished. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hit escape before we get squished this time. Let's see what changes.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, we're going to go take another path down here. I think there's another path we could take. I'm going to try that instead. Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Oh, wait.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might
sorry.
be fired for that.
I did it again.
And in such a competitive economy,
oh,
why
no.
had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
I think there's another option.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
I'm not looking down. I'm not looking down.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself,
don't know why the
this is
car's
all
here.
too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally
I was
found
gonna
an
keep running
answer,
through,
an
apparently.
explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well
I think some
enjoy
things have
this while I'm
changed.
still lucid.
But it might be crazy.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Yay, I'm floating.
Then he imagined himself
Oh, I hit the door.
soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing?
We took a long route.
Now
But
the voice was
there should be a
describing
second
itself being
option, I
considered
hope.
by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
Just running through now.
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
Hearing him
Believing
again.
that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
Quite the
After all,
shock.
He knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
Yes,
That this
in
was
control.
a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his
Oh,
skin,
no.
the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
That
Let
license
me
plate,
wake
though.
up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job.
Yes,
Let
let's
me
go back,
continue
please.
pushing the buttons.
Please go back.
Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Are people
life
commenting
is
and I'm not
normal.
seeing it, I wonder?
I am normal. Everything
what's
will
happening?
be fine.
Have people been talking and I'm just not seeing it?
Okay.
We're pausing that real quick. I'm going to hit refresh on this. If people have been talking and I haven't been seeing it, I'm going to be really embarrassed, I think. Okay, no, nothing's coming through. Nothing's coming through. But I have people messaging me in Discord saying things. I don't know. Alright, well, you know what? We're going to get back in the game. I don't know if it's been screwy or if I'm just getting a message in Discord about it. I don't know. So let's get this going.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, jeez. So there might only be one ending if you go down here.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Yeah. So we already went through that. Let's go ahead and begin again. So there's only one option if you go down those stairs. What?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that.
Shut me in
No.
here.
This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me.
No.
Nothing will break me.
No, I already knew I was
In
going to
the end, I
die.
can be happy forever. I will
No.
be happy.
Where's the
Stanley
camera?
waited. Hours passed. then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh! What'd you do? Game, why? Okay. Okay. Don't go back in there. It's bad.
All
Bad
of his
things happen.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so we don't
No
go
matter How hard
downstairs.
Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, we don't go downstairs anymore. That is a dead end. Literally, a dead end.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered
So
the
we'll
door
see if
on
there's
his
anything
left.
else we can do up here.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Oh, yeah, there's
Feeling
gotta
a
be.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
Okay.
office. Coming
Not
to a
that way.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Oh yeah, what do we got going on here? Wait. Does that follow through? You used to only have 1 input, now it's got 3. I wonder if that follows through between games. We're going to have to keep finding those computers and clicking them to see what happens.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the
Jeez.
floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by
What?
fear for nearly a full hour. But
What?
when at last he began to move about and survey the
different.
situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's
Oh,
past,
no.
it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I feel like we shouldn't have done that. We should have waited for something else to happen. Oh, I'm really curious now. So we have been wandering these areas for like an hour and a half now. What other options have I not taken?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I don't think there are other options we went through there. Gonna run through here.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it,
We're gonna
the
escape
truth
before we
was
get
that
squished
at the
this
end of
time.
this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Unless it changed and we actually
The
are
door
gonna die
behind him
again.
was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
So here we go. Whee! Okay, loading. We should have squished there. Okay. So this time we should drop through again. When we go through the exit,
As
we're
the
going to go
machine
ahead
whirred
and
into
escape.
motion and Stanley was inched
Get out of there
closer
before we get
and closer
squished.
to his demise. He reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
Oh, jeez.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man.
Oh, wow.
So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
But why can't they climb out? There we go. Oh, okay, good. It stopped again.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Nope. Okay, so we're gonna hit escape before that happens
again. Just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Ow. I wish I had more of the layout, though. That'd be kind of cool. But I think we have to explore more before it maybe opens up. I think there's more room. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go up to the exit. And just kind of fast forward through all this, and we already looked through everything. And see what we got up over there. Okay, here's the exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
There's a wall there. Okay, let's hit off.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Alright. Begin the game again. Has anything changed?
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
It is going up. If we go up to the boss's room, we'll hit that again. It's the only other place I know where that computer is. I'm sure it's other places too. I know for sure it's there, so we're gonna go do that so it hits the max, like, digits on there and see what happens. Because now I'm curious.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
What? Rest in peace, Franz? Franz? Ooh. Poor Franz. I feel like they had to have taken a picture of something and then put it up here. Employees, 417, 405, 491, 416, 431, and Jim. Okay. Future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. Interesting. Not cost efficient. Standardized graphs, 40x wide. Okay. RD, new coffee machine. Get Chris out of the broom closet? What? Synergized paper. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of something. I'm curious now. Okay. These are actually kind of interesting to read. Work harder, hard worker. Okay. I wonder who Franz is now. profits. Ooh. Wow. Some that's nice, some that's not nice. Less air. Okay. Alright, let's... Broom closet.
Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. So, oh, we're not going to push the button this time. Oh, that opened. It opened. Where? Oh, where am I? We can go down. Can we go up though? See what happens when we go down. We're gonna get yelled at. Oh, I'm so curious now. Oh, I forgot to push. No, we need to go back up. I need to push the thing on the computer. Dang it. Really? Wait, really? Okay. Let's push the computer. Let's see. It's off. I can't do it. Did something change? Okay. I wonder if we just sit here and shake until we push something else. Look, there's kind of like prints of something on there. Rooms, maybe? Random design? I'm curious. He's singing to it. It literally goes nowhere. It just kind of sits there and we listen to music for a while. Okay. That's still off. Can we go in here now? Oh, let us? It won't let us. Okay. It worked. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. We're able to do stuff we weren't able to do before. I don't know what that means. Can we go back? Nope. Okay, we're gonna explore everything we can here. Ah, that computer's off. Why is it off? Okay. Well, time to see what happens.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean, he wondered? Desperate for answers, he began turning the room over looking for clues that might unravel the situation, until at last he discovered a keypad behind the boss's desk. But alas, no code. For this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
2845.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Okay, let's see what happens when we don't do anything.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Yeah, let's see what else he says now.
2845.
Come on.
For God... But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in.
Oh.
And the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Hold on. Well, I thought it was going to be a smartass when I did it just now. I guess not. Okay. We're not going to go to the Doom area. Okay, that doesn't work anymore.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, we're going to piss him off.
Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
You know, he's not wrong.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. Nope, still on board with death.
Okay. Let's see if we can find anything else this time. He's not saying anything. Okay, fine, we'll push it.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Can't push it again. We have to go forward. Cameras. Okay. We have to push the cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Is there anything interesting on any of the monitors? I don't know. Okay, what is that? Oh, it disappeared. I'm gonna see what that one says, if I can, like, zoom in enough to read it. Pirate? Let's see. Something, error, keep, something... Oh, okay, it's not letting me read it. Alright, so let's go ahead and go on over here. And we have to click that again.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I mean, I know we can reactivate it.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Can I go through anything else? Oh, look. I don't know what those do. Huh. We came out down from there, so let's go up here. Like, I really want to explore everything, but it does start to take a little bit of time. Okay, so we have to find the 3 button. Let's find the 3 first. We'll click that, go up there to the 4, and then we'll click the 5 and see if that does anything special. So where is the 3? There's 1, there's 2. Five is up there. Nothing down here. Where's the 3? The 3's got to be here somewhere. I don't see a 3 anywhere. There's no 3 for me to push. Or is there? Did I walk past? Nope. Is there a 3 in here for me to push? Can we go up there further? I think we should be able to. Anything else I can push here? No. I want that 3. Like, I'm curious if it actually does anything or if I'm just being crazy. I mean, there's a walkway up there, so there must be... Oh, that's it up there, isn't it? I wonder if there's a way to get there, though. Maybe if I just go turn the system back on, I can actually explore a little. Okay, here we go. My control system being turned on.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Alright, push on.
Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Oh, what?
That this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode,
What?
eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moment each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
There's a 3.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Wow.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on
3.
the next go around will be even better. My
Can I make it?
goodness,
Can I
only
make it?
34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
Oh, really?
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Gonna go
Or
push
did
the
you
5.
just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
Maybe?
Look at you, running from button to button.
That didn't do anything.
Screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
See it.
Stanley, you're
Did it
in
change?
for quite a
It did not change.
disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along.
Yeah, I'll
It's
say
just
3.
seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing
Oh,
instead of watching
you
a cutscene
jerk.
because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you...
Oh, it says goodbye. No, it's 1. There's a
look
1.
at
I
the
need to go
clock,
push the 1.
That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being...
Oh!
alone.
It short-circuited because I pushed it.
Cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of
Oh,
your
jeez, it gets so
inevitable life
shaky.
from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oh, jeez. He did nuke us. Okay, I'm curious what's actually going to happen now. Oh, wait. Awaiting input. I got 5. Oh, what happened? Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Ooh. Ooh. There's just screens everywhere. There's just buttons everywhere. Oh, it's just saying buttons, too. Am I supposed to do anything here? Oh! Oh! I'm gonna push all the buttons. I don't know if this is gonna do anything. I mean, there's not much else to do at the moment. They're not turning back on, are they? No, they're staying off. I mean, oh, they do turn back on, don't they? No? Something? Anything? I don't actually know what I'm doing other than apparently pushing buttons. Like, is this literally all it is? Is there nothing else to do? I think I'm gonna have to actually end it because it's just buttons. Oh, they turned back on. Oh, that's not fair. Okay. We're gonna begin the game again and see what happens. Okay, we're not pushing the button again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I wonder if there is a way to actually figure out what's going on here.
When Stanley came to a set of two
Right.
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're gonna go for freedom again. Like, correctly this time, though. And then I'm probably
Yet
gonna call it
there was
after
not a
this, because we've been
single
going for
person
almost
here
2 hours
either.
now.
Feeling a wave
Jeez.
of disbelief, Stanley
broom
decided to go
closet.
up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
They boarded the broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of
What is it
any
again?
human life. What could it mean, he wondered. Desperate for answers, he began turning the room over looking for clues that might unravel the situation, until at last he discovered a keypad behind the boss's desk. But alas, no code. For this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
You think I'd remember
Of
that by
course,
now.
Stanley couldn't, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input
Okay.
the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Like, I wonder how many different endings are in this. Like, really. There's got to be so many of them.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We're skipping that. We already know how that ends.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
All right.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I wonder if we can go up higher.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Push all the buttons in order to see if anything happens. There's got to be a way to get up there, though. Like, there has to be. I refuse to accept there's no way up there. Okay, now then the 5 is over there. Okay, push number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 does nothing at all. There's no 0 key that I saw either. So that door was open at one point, and then he shut it in my face. I don't know what that means, though. Okay, I'm gonna shut it off this time. And see if there's something else I can do.
And when at last he found the sword...
Okay, it's all black. You can kind of see something on the screen.
and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Can't see the background.
Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Yes,
Where
how do I...
had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized
Is
none
there a
of this
way
mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or
do
even
more?
power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
I want to do
Whatever
a thing.
life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
And it's very
It
pretty
was
out there.
perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
But
Stanley stepped through the open door.
I don't want to. I want to go exploring more. Everything's off. I can explore safely, right? Come on, narrator. Let me do something. Narrator. I want to do something else. Is there any other pathway here? He's not going to say anything, is he? We can look outside. Narrator. Okay, I guess,
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the
alright.
feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
But why is this out here in the middle of nowhere? I must have the answers. At some point, I'm going to have to really go through and just, like, figure it all out. And I go exploring the second door and the third door, etc. The end is never the end. We're not going back there. Alright, we are going to go ahead. Options. Extras. Saves enabled. Achievements enabled. Achievement unlocked. Achievement. Okay. Back. Can I save? Can I do a thing? Oh, save. New save. No saved game. New save. Okay, there it is. We did save that. Okay. Alright, so that's going to be it. I might do some more of this offline, just kind of mess around with it. I might make a video, I don't know. But this was actually kind of fun. That I like the narrator. It was actually pretty interesting hearing him go off on me and yell at me and stuff. It's pretty cool. But, you know, thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hitting that like button. If anyone new is here, hit subscribe. All the good stuff. I'll be doing some more games. I am currently taking 2 weeks in self-isolation. So, with all the stuff going on, apparently I can't say the words in any stream or video. I don't know why, but apparently it's a thing. But anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out. Thanks for those likes. Thanks for those views. I had a good time. I hope you all did too. I will see you again in the next game. Good night. If I can hit the off button. There we go. Good night, everyone.